Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Penalty Loop Podcast, a podcast about biathlon by Jordan Gottschalk from Penalty Loop and a regular guest, RJ Weiss from Biathlon Analytics.
Torria tavataan!
Päivää That's my best Finnish. Apparently it means hello to everybody. I am eagerly waiting for Hannah to let me know how poorly I got that one.
I knew they liked their, I don't even know what you call the letter A with the two little dots on it.
Yeah, a lot of that.
But they have a good day. Pive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. Anyway, that has 5 of them.
5.
It's HYV and then A double dot P A double dot I V P double or A double dot A double dot. That's quite a bit.
It is. It's quite a bit.
Hyvää päivää.
We're doing our best. We're trying. Now wait for Estonian next week. That's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I've never tried that before.
No.
See, I knew Finnish already. It was Suomi. I've always liked that.
Yeah, what
That's
is that?
Finland in Finnish, I think.
Oh,
Suomi.
Okay. I like that.
I just know it because they have it on their hockey jerseys.
You know, this is now tangentially related to biathlon, but I there's something so harmingly unique about Finland. It's like it's right next door to Sweden and Norway and Denmark, but the language is totally different. It is right next door to Russia. It's not really Russian. They're just sort of doing their own thing up there, happy to be there. And they just seem like
and I've been told in the past that, and I forgot, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Hungarian or Bulgarian is very similar to Finnish because I think it all originates from the same Slavic language, but I'm probably not saying that correctly. But it is very interesting. And I think they have an interesting history with, I think they were part of, with the Swedish at some point and part of Russia at some point, or what's now Russia, I suppose. I've been there twice. Punkaharju, I think. It's some lake area. Well, I think this lake area everywhere in Finland, but some nice little cabin by the lake. It was really nice. And Helsinki. Can highly recommend visiting Helsinki. A lot of cool art, design, and just a cool city.
Speaking of lake area, for the first time watching the course, and especially because they're doing such a good job with those drone shots, and I was paying attention to where the lake is in relation to the rest of the course, because my understanding is that the stadium, such as it is, very charming stadium, by the way. It looks nothing like anything else on the World Cup. Like it looks very like you just sort of like this sort of local stadium compared to
especially
like
in the dark, right?
Yeah, and but no, like because the stadium is the high point, right, and then the lake is the low point, and it's at one point they swoop kind of like around near the lake shore, and of course it's all frozen, so it just looks like snow. But yeah, I
think it's just a matter of time before they start including it.
Yeah, just go right out there.
Skate on the lake, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just feels so different compared to so many of the other courses, and especially coming out of, our last thing that we saw was Antholz, which was obviously packed,
from like high up in the mountains.
Yes, and now you're right on the lakeshore, and it's low altitude, and they're, the much smaller stands, and the fans that were there were amazing. They were really very excited, but just a much smaller group of people there compared to some of the other places.
Really curious if the athletes have access to, how they have those saunas often right on the lake, and then they chop a chunk, like a little pond. Well, not pond, but like they chop some ice and then for the dunk.
Did you not see this? Campbell after the race today. He hopped right in
He did?
yeah. He like
There you go.
like straight out of his racing suit. He went down to his underwear and hopped right in. Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, it's good too that he, obviously the races weren't really going as he would have liked, but
he's got his personality. And it was still funny because, he was whatever in bib 11 or 12 or whatever it was today. And he still gets this huge cheer, relative to what you would expect from somebody else in that position. So he's just he's such a character.
I think almost even if you don't necessarily want to, he's hard to ignore when he such a genuine smile and encouraging. But I thought that Frey did a pretty good job of that too. Obviously he soon realized that it wasn't going to be his day, and he, I don't think anybody would have blamed him if he would have stepped out, but just kept going.
Oh, I love it. He was obviously, if you guys didn't see it, he had a fall in the first lap and broke part of his rifle and needed a spare rifle. He was way behind because of the fall, and then because of using the spare rifle, I think he had 800 misses today. And
only 9.
Yeah,
still better than 50%.
Piled up so quickly.
Well, but his last shooting was clean.
Yeah. Well, he finally adjusted to the rifle.
yeah, I suppose.
But no, I'm just. It was. You could understand if he would have just stepped out and been like, "Hey, I can't. This is not going well. I would like to be done." And no, he just went around with a smile and just didn't seem to bother him too much.
Yeah.
Very much I can't control this attitude. This is just sort of an adventure, and all right, well, this happened. I liked it.
The busiest I've seen Ziggy and Arber. What is his name? They were trying to fix it and load ammunition in magazines and had to take it out again. And it was
what a weird. This is a weird week, right? There were so many little things, and I was going to get to this later, but there was that. There was Fiechner with she dropped a reload? Something happened. What happened? Where she?
Sometimes when you cock the bolt, sometimes a bullet just jumps out or falls out, and then you can reload it manually. And I think so. She did that in her first series of 5, and then in her head she probably counted that as the loading of a spare because she did 2 more, and then she got up and did a penalty loop, I think. And I think she had 1 penalty loop, right? So she could have hit it, but on top of all of that, she got 2-minute penalty. So
there's that. There was Marin Shikida missed a penalty loop. There was the near miss between.
Was that
Elvira.
the time adjustment?
Yeah.
So who almost took out Hannah then?
Well, that's what I was going to say next was Paulina Botowska-Fialkova was going onto the penalty loop. I think it was it Hannah or Elvira? It was one of the sisters.
I thought it was Hannah, but
was coming off, and they had a near miss. Vanessa Vogt and Lou Jeanmonnot had that collision at the start of, was that the mass start?
Yeah, and I looked at it again, and I think Vogt actually got in a collision with somebody else on her right.
Was that what happened?
And then to compensate, she went over to her left, and then I think she got tangled up with Lou, but luckily nobody was...
All I can see from it was all of a sudden, it looked like she just veered off and took out Lou. It was like
a body check almost.
it was like Lou said something mean about her, or somebody paid her off to try to take out Lou. But yeah, so, okay, that makes more sense. It was just a weird week of just the kind of thing you don't normally see. It just seemed to happen a lot.
Well, and we've talked a lot about how with Tan Revolt, the happiness seems to be missing. I've mentioned that with Justine Reza-Boucher.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to find that with Lou. Like she just, so I don't know if it's the stress that's building up or
She looks,
just being super tired but
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. She looks exhausted, which who could blame her?
Yeah. And I mean, you probably know way more than I do, but, like I know typically, so when I live at like 1,060 meters here. So when I go to Holland, the first couple of days, I always feel pretty strong, other than tired, but, which I think is an effect of going to sea level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I also assume that as people adjust differently to altitude, they probably also adjust differently to leaving altitude. Could that play a role or?
Maybe. I mean, that could certainly be part of it. I think also that she has been, the favorite all season long and has been wearing yellow for a little while now. And I think she had a very busy Olympics. I'm wondering if that just was sort of like the grind is sort of getting to her a little bit. And then if you think back, it's not just this year because it was so much of last year too. I just wonder if there's a little bit of like mental fatigue of, oh man, we're doing this again. And you saw, I mean, I think this was new to us being in Oslo last year. That is after those races, that's a long time for those athletes, especially if they have to go, some of them just kind of walk right through. I think we talked to Deidre about, now she gets stuck, she gets caught by the Norwegians, but like a lot of those athletes are able to kind of walk right through and nobody really stops them. But, Lou and I'm sure Simone and those.
Points.
Yeah, right. They stop at every single person.
And then we don't see all the interviews they have to do.
Yes. Yeah.
Either the next day or when they get back to France or wherever.
And then these were evening races too. So like you finally get out of the stadium and it's way later than it normally would be for your cool down. And I think she's probably just exhausted.
Yeah, and I got the impression, I think Michael Reusch was talking about how it's also not like there's hotels right by the ski stadium, right? So
I did note this on social media. I think I texted you about it also, that in addition to that, I mean, Lou Jeanmonnot is one of the best shooters there is. She has been one of the best shooters there is. And even with what I'm about to say, she still remains one of the best shooters there is. So she has now had 4 consecutive non-relay races shooting less than 90%. And that is before this current run, the most she had ever had shooting less than 90% is 2 races, which when you think about it is pretty nuts for an entire career to hit 90% or above. You're only missing out on that for at most 2 straight races. So now she's
especially
gone
if you consider that many of those were kind of, stressful occasions, right? Like probably going for the win in the 4th shooting. So it's
so this is now 4 straight, which is her longest streak that she's ever been on. And that's primarily due to her standing shooting, which is, I think, a career worst. It's like 86% or something like that. Again, 86% standing shooting, a career worst. But I just think that's interesting that is where it's showing up most. That whatever this is, the fatigue, the mental grind, it's just, there is clearly a very, 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 very small chip in the in the armor there. And having said all this, I'm glad I said it because it probably won't last. So this was like the one and only chance to be able to mention it, because after next week, that'll probably be totally gone.
Yeah, that's possible. It depends a bit on if it's more serious or not. But she's also, I don't know, like it's a nice little bridge to our friend QFM.
Yeah. Well, real quick,
when the pressure's not on, maybe. Yeah. No, I'm going to not go into it, but maybe having a big lead in some ways is not ideal.
What? Because she's so far ahead in the overall.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is what I was going to mention too, was if Suvi or anybody was going to get back into it, in the overall race. Like they needed Lou to have a week like this where she was in the 30s one race and like 16th in the next race. And unfortunately for them, I mean, not that I want Lou to lose the overall or something like that, but Suvi and Marin Shirkaida were not able to mount the charge that they would have needed to this week to actually take advantage of it. So even with it, she's still way out in front, even with the Swedes having a great week. They're just too far back to really make it too exciting. And I think Lou could continue this current trajectory and still be fine.
Who would have thought after 2 full trimesters that the best Swede is Anna Magnusson?
Well, you and I would have thought, because I think that we talked about her specifically.
I think that every year.
But no, but didn't we talked about it specifically on our season preview as somebody that could take advantage of kind of an Olympic year. And with 5 races to go, there she is, 3rd place. And it's not like she's stumbling into 3rd place because she had another very good weekend.
Talking about globe races, how likely do you think it is that Sturla wins every remaining non-team race? And how likely is it that Perrot in that same time frame will score no more than 19 points?
0% chance. It is fun though watching them, right? Like this is what I wanted all season.
Yeah. Just side by side.
Yeah. These guys are, I think, no offense to Jacquelin, who was very explosive at times earlier this year. I think that Laegreid's current form and Perrot's current form, like these are the 2 best. Or I should say, let me rephrase that. I think these are the 2 best athletes. Like the way they're performing right now are the best we have seen any 2 athletes perform this season.
Oh, you don't think that Eric Perrot had some really strong races already?
Him and let me edit myself one more time.
That they're at their best right now.
No. So I think that Perrot probably was at his best in the 2nd trimester. But I think that it's Laegreid is the way that he looks right now, I would argue is better than anybody else has looked at any point this season. But obviously, the overall is a year-long race, and I think Perrot is clearly a deserving champion if he is able to just stand upright for the next 2 weeks. He has had end-to-end the best season long. It's been a remarkable season. I think he has like 1 finish outside the top 10 all season. I mean, that's 4 wins, clearly a high ceiling, high floor. I mean, he's remarkable. But Sturla having 6 consecutive podiums is just remarkable.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Well, and he's had some moments where you're like, the shooting is not quite what it was with Sturla.
Yeah.
But I mean, today it was...
yeah. And to hear him talk about it.
Very interesting how Perrot was so fast and very good, but just missed that last shot, right? And then, sorry, you were saying...
yeah, in the interview after today, that's exactly what Sturla said, is that he knew that Perrot had the miss, and he goes, well, it's, I know I need to hit this shot. I'll get it down, and then I'm good. And he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. His numbers, I mean,
nice
the streak is so good. I think I wrote it down. So he went third, second, first in this streak.
First. So it is possible.
It is possible. I mean, it certainly doesn't look to be slowing down.
And then if he's smart, I would start poking a little bit with Emilien Jacquelin about what bad teammates they are, and they're not,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that his ski ranks over this, right? He's got 6th, 4th, 8th, 2nd, 4th, 3rd, and then he's shooting 96.4% over this run. So it looks more and more like he was setting up his whole season around the Olympics, and then just try to do whatever he could. Yeah.
Situation with Buchan, of course, also.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know exactly what the 2nd trimester would have been. Yeah, but
I think his switch to take over those second-hand skis that he found in the
second
barn
hand
of the Bö brothers. Yeah, Worked out okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It might have worked out. This is what I wanted to see from him all year. It makes me excited for next year, right? If he can carry this for an entire season, to have him versus Perrot and Jacquelin and Bolton, I mean, it could be really fantastic race season.
Imagine what he's like if he gets back to the love of his life.
If we want to see him get back to the love of his life, since they broke up, he's been killing it.
Well, true. He might be even better.
And you mentioned actually at the time, but it's sort of like his celebration was so muted at the end. And part of that, I think, is just him. But I think part of it too is that he's just like, I'm just going to keep my head down and it's not going to be too exuberant.
I was waiting for a little heart symbol, but
a little. This, we're obviously giving him a hard time, but I do legitimately, listening to his interviews, sometimes I feel like I just really hope he's got really good support system, because he still sounds like he's not in a great mental place, but he's clearly racing very well.
I mean, obviously, with Buchan, that must have been such a mental blow, right? And then obviously, like I said, we've all been there. Like if you go through something like that with in this case, a girl, it sucks, right? And it's kind of hard to dig yourself out of it. So then if you have two of those things in two situations, not that I want to compare them equally, of course, but
yeah, dude, he looks great. I love the secondhand skis. I'm just still laughing.
Well, they are, because I know originally that when he went to Fischer, I thought he was taking their place, as in, he's now the main guy for Fischer in the biathlon world, getting the best skis, but he actually is skiing on their old skis. Imagine all the work he had to scratch all those, what was it? It had something like Boo Brothers.
To get out. Well, Johannes, he had that interview wherein he was talking about, was it his retirement or was it before that? He was talking about how this is last season. I really don't have to train all that much to be the best in the world. Well, what he really was trying to tell us was, guys, you don't understand. These skis are flipping awesome.
Yeah.
Like I can just roll out of bed and be the fastest.
Do you think that they are hiding from us that they actually had a bidding war in the team?
Wait, who do you think else was in the bidding war? Do you think it was Christensen or?
Well, I mean, there's only so much difference in weight and posture that you can have for skis to work. So maybe I wonder if Sturla had to lose a little bit of weight to have them work.
Well, don't joke. He's been talking about how he can't eat because he's still so like mentally in a bad place that he just doesn't have much of an appetite.
Oh, that's not good.
Speaking of losing weight, Christensen, he actually did talk about losing some weight, and that's why he's been raising his level recently. So I don't know, maybe he did.
It's so funny because I saw a standing shooting from Christensen, and it was just the camera angle, and he seems to have quite the belly.
Yeah, he does.
I know it's just a position, but it looked so kind of funny.
Well, I mean, these aren't the most flattering suits. I mean, these guys are all in amazing shape. Let's start with that. But it does. The camera angle, the position for the shoot, it does look like he's been hitting the beer tent a little bit.
I was actually wondering about the bibs, if they come in different sizes.
Yeah, because you can't put the same bib on.
But I mean, then it would have to have different sizes for every number.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
But even like if you compare, say, Knoten and Magnussen.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You don't want Magnussen to ski around with a bib that's kind of a mini skirt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're pretty elastic, so they'll probably just fit that way. But anyway, kind of a bit of a sideway.
Now you got to make me think about it. How are we going to produce the right size the right size bib, are smaller athletes negatively impacted on longer races because their bibs are catching too much breeze?
Or are the taller athletes?
Yeah.
Is it too much compression and they can't fully breathe?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, it makes the shooting really difficult.
Although I actually wonder if they sort of make them like if they have sort of plain bibs for themselves, because they keep them after the race, right? They don't have to hand them back in. So maybe they just have their own and then they hand them in at the start of the season and they just print whatever.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Should ask.
That'll actually go on my list of things to ask for Oslo. Find the tallest and the shortest athletes and ask if there's a difference.
I'll find the shortest.
Well, I bet you will. Christensen, very good weekend, I think. I think he'll look back fondly on Kontiolahti of March 2026 with fond memories.
Yeah, but he had third and then did quite the comeback in the relay. Slightly assisted, but you still have to
crushed it.
Take it when you can, right?
Yeah, you still hit the shots.
So,
it is amazing to me that he has been on teams with the Bow brothers and Sturla. I mean, really, really great biathletes, and yet he is always just slotted in as the anchor. And it's just sort of assumed that he will be the anchor. And he comes through so many times. Here's another one, by the way, I think, where if he has too big a lead, he gets too comfortable, right? I think he's much, much happier chasing than, I shouldn't say much happier. If you got a 2-minute lead, you have a 2-minute lead. You're not going to complain too much, but his performance looks like he's better with a 20-second disadvantage.
And I think there's something to say for, today he had nothing to lose, right? So he just does his thing, and then he was really depending on what QFM did.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, but he still did it.
But he still did it. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, it's magnificent. And then today, even, what was he, like 5th or 6th coming into the final shoot, and enough people, missed in front of him, and he hit, and he held on for dear life there at the end. So there was a moment where Bowden got within like 10 seconds of him. I was like, oh man, Christensen, you look like you're struggling here, buddy.
I know, right? Yeah.
Just got to claw yourself to the line.
Is that Smurdahl, is that a new thing for Bowden? Or has he had that all season?
On it for his name?
His name is now Johan Olaf Smurdahl Bowden.
I have not noticed it
ever seen
on
it
the
before.
listings ever. Yeah. The only time I've ever seen it is on like the, whatever you want to call them, like the test race that they do before the season. Like on the NRK, I'll notice that they'll have it on their, their stand, but I've never seen it by the IBU or anybody else.
Right. It's funny. I just noticed that number 5 and 6 today were both Martins, and I realized there's also 2 Philips, or Philips, I guess, and 2 Sebastians,
and a whole bunch of Johanneses.
Only one today.
Only one today
in the men's mass start.
He stepped. I was actually going to use that as a transition point to another Johannes Lukas, who has re-upped with the Swedes for another 4 years through 2031. Interesting decision.
Interesting. It's the moment where I wish I could understand Swedish, because they were interviewing Jeanmarc. Is it Jeanmarc Chablot?
Jeanmarc, yeah.
And I could understand enough to know that he was talking about coaching staff and contract renewal and that kind of thing, but not in what sense. But it didn't feel like he was just saying, yep, new contracts, we're all good, or whatever, right? And I don't know if he has also been re-signed or if his contract is expiring, but usually after an Olympic season, there's some contracts ending, but
and
I wish more people or more TV things would do that. So on the Swedish TV, they actually, after every shooting, when the Swedish athletes are done and through, they always do a quick interview with Chablot, and you will have the shots on the board and everything. And it's pretty interesting because I don't know what the level of knowledge is of the people that interview him, but they'll ask questions that, an average Joe would ask, like, oh, she had 4 misses. That was a very bad shooting. And he'll be like, no, it was a really good shooting. They were all very close. She was consistently off. But that kind of thing, right? It's just informative.
Yeah. That wasn't the Ola Brunholm Bjorn Ferry duo, was it?
No, I think Bjorn Ferry, I don't think he's in the commentary anymore, because it sounded like they still had, there's one guy who, let's just say, doesn't look like a former professional athlete. Not that it looks bad or anything,
sure.
But doesn't come across. But he actually talks more. And even though I don't know what he say, most of the time I still enjoy listening to him. And then today there was a lady with him in the box. So I don't know if that was Mona Burson, or because Mona Burson is also in the studio with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that was her or another former athlete. I'm not sure, but
well, now I'm curious about it. Yeah,
a lot of curiosity going on today.
I'm really curious. Speaking of curiosity, what the hell happened to the Swedes at the Olympics? Because now you look at the Swedish women and it's like nothing ever changed, right? You got Hanna and Elvira 1-2 at the...
Well, I have one theory about it.
Yeah.
They train probably mostly in Östersund, I would say. So their wax team is very familiar with sea level waxing.
Mm-hmm.
Kontiolahti was no difference, right? It's very low. And Antholz is a bit higher. And there was numerous occasions where they didn't seem very happy with their wax. And I'm sure that's not the only reason. But, I don't know, could play a role.
Yeah, because they look magnificent. I think of 2 women on the podium each race, and they obviously won the relay. And it looked like, if you just sort of like deleted the Olympics from your memory, and you just saw everything that had happened, in January and January and now this week, you'd be like, yeah, Swedes are rolling. That they're crushing it this season, and
3 in the top 5.
Yeah, right. And Otapa and Oslo, they could very well have equal results again. It wouldn't surprise anybody. Yeah. I don't think they could end up with 2, 3, and 4. Right. I don't think it's out of possibility that Suvi could fall right out. I don't know what the gap is between Suvi and Elvira right now, or Suvi points. And Hanna, whoever was it. 80.
Oh, Suvi and Magnussen is 8 points.
Yeah, but who's in 5th?
And then Hanna is in 5th with 54 points.
Yeah,
behind Suvi. Right?
Yeah, so very easy that you could have.
No, for sure.
3 Swedes in the top 4. And the feeling coming out of the season is going to be one of slight disappointment because of the Olympics. But then how can you be too upset when you've got 2, 3, and 4 in the overall? It's just very strange.
And it doesn't feel like they had some really strong periods already. They had the occasional race and stuff, but
I know. And then, but when you go back and look at the each trimester by itself, and you see how good, obviously Magnussen was right at the start. And then Elvira had a couple wins and I think 3 podiums in the second trimester, really in 2 weeks because they weren't there. And Hanna the same. She had a win and a couple podiums. And
but
now,
as a team, I don't know.
I totally agree. Right. And then now here
they for Team Sweden's expectations, right? Not
yes.
Not to say that they have bad results or anything, but
I got you. Yeah. Yeah, I got you. It's just it's a really strange season for them. because like I said, if they end up 2, 3, and 4 in the overall, you'll think, wow, that was really great. But I don't think that anybody ever felt like they were that dominant.
But that can be their goal. If you have 3 such good athletes, at least one should be competing for the globe.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
But then again, if they would have gotten 3 or 4 gold medals in the Olympics because they focused on that, then nobody's complaining, right?
No, absolutely not. Which brings us back to Johannes Lukas is coming back for another 5 years, it sounds like. And just really curious to see it has been very clear, that there is a pattern with his teams for the last 10 years. And I'm just really curious to see if that continues or they make a change. Clearly, I guess they're happy with the results.
And I'm really curious how much say the athletes have when it comes to a contract extension like that.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's more like, well, we've decided to continue with him, suck it up. Or
how old is...
if they have a say in...
How old is Elvira? 28?
Well, she's not, well, maybe a little bit younger, but definitely not. Okay, come on. By the time my webpage loads, you probably have it already. But
she's 20. She just turned 27.
Yeah.
So that'll take her through her... Yeah, I mean, you're getting to the very back portions. I mean, Elvira will be 32, I guess, by the end of his current contract, the one he just signed, and Hanna will be, if she's still racing,
34. Magnussen, 34. Yeah.
It's sort of saying, hey, this generation of Swedish biathlon, this is yours. And you're right.
Window,
I mean, if they all said, hey, we want him, great.
Yeah. Probably not something they said about Victor Brandt again. No offense, but
he was giving them proper inspiration.
Man, and don't get me wrong, I really wish him all the best, but I just always feel for Samuelsson and Ponsaloma and Nellen too. It's a team thing, and you can't hold anything against Brandy. Of course, he's trying his best. But man, it's so, and they still come in third,
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's like, all right, there they are again. Do you think that, the men ever, I think about Seba and Ponsi, if they look down and see this kid, this Philip Lindqvist Fluten, who just had a very good junior world, and can you just get a little bit older, a little bit faster, buddy? We just need you. We need you right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because they don't really have anybody else, really.
No, this is it. And I meant to do this project before we recorded, and I just ran out of time, but I wanted to look at all the times they've been on the podium, and if it really matters where the first 2 legs are, because my feeling is it doesn't really matter. If Brandt and Nellin are, right in the mix, they'll end up in third. If Brandt and Nellin are in 14th.
It did occur to me today that because I don't think they naturally I don't think they caught up time.
No,
it's more that other teams started dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're almost thinking if Ponsaloma takes over in first position, that it's kind of a done deal. But yeah, and Seba even shot clean, right?
Which interesting, because I didn't feel like he had a good weekend, but he had a really great relay. It's been such a weird relay season for them because it always felt like they were out of it. And then they won the bronze in the Olympics, and they had a couple other podiums. So I guess you're going to come to the end of the season, and as a men's relay team, they were probably the third best team. I mean, they were the third best team behind Norway and
kind
France.
of the best of the rest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I know Finland is going through a really good period right now, but I would still, like, if you strictly look on paper, I think Germany would be competing with Sweden for best of the rest. But yeah, poor guy, Leonard Fund.
Oh, I felt bad for him. Yeah.
I'm impressed though with so in the relay he had the 2 misses in the prone, but then he shot clean, I think, in standing, and also in his individual he had one shooting bout where he had 2 misses or 3 probably, and he shot clean after. So that for such a young guy, it's pretty good, right? To be able to move on from that.
And you think about that single mixed relay team. Was it him and Marlene Fiechner back in Novi Mesto, where they got disqualified? And
poor
then,
girl.
That's exactly what I was going to say. But she also had the 5th in the individual, 4th in the mass start. So she really is showing what she can do.
Well, I know, but it's like her last 2 relays were kind of a nightmare. I like her.
That's exactly what I was going to say. She's so likable, and you only want great things for her. It was.
Well, she's such a good shot. Like,
I think she has certainly earned with that 5th and the 4th. She's earned her position, even though the relay hasn't gone amazing. But
well, I mean, you would hope that her bad luck in relays is kind of done now, and
for her the rest of her career.
Well, yeah, but
she might have bad shooting days, but hopefully nothing like that.
Because they still have one more.
No, relays are done. Oh, I guess there's the mixed and single mixed next week, but that's it.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe she'll do another one with Leo.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Just a little.
Yeah. Retaliation? No, is it
exactly.
Not retaliation?
Yeah, redemption.
Redemption, yeah.
Yeah. They retaliate against themselves.
Yeah.
You briefly mentioned the Fens. I know you had something else you wanted to get to, but that was just a cool moment where they came in 4th, and they didn't seem upset that they were in podium position until Sebe passed them. They seemed just as happy. They were thrilled.
Yeah, and we were texting about that Coach Eric.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that I didn't see anything of him being disappointed. Like, it was like, you know what, 4th place is totally awesome, especially in your home country.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, I think they must have had good hopes after how the Olympics went, and
yes,
all the men looking pretty strong. So to also take that opportunity and actually make it happen, I think that must be really cool feeling, right?
Yeah. And this wasn't even their top team. I mean, I think Otto and Vinius didn't run in it, or two Heikkinen. So still another level maybe they could get to. That was really cool. I love that for them.
Yeah. Also, now that we're talking about relays, both Czechia and Poland, really cool to see them in 4th and 5th.
Yes.
In the women's, Vobornikova, she's on fire.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like we could look back on this stretch as like, oh yeah, that was the moment she took that step.
Broke through.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
She's like, all right, I proved it. I got that medal. I know what I can do, and now I'm just going to keep doing it. Because she looked excellent. Was she 4th in the individual? I don't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, 4th.
Yeah.
And then a 5th in the mass start, and then another great relay leg, and she just seems like she's one of those women now.
I just love that there's these names popping out always. Teresa Finklarkova.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if she changed her name or something, but she's like 27, comes in an anchor leg,
Yeah.
Of the Yislava, Shorvatova, and Vubornikova, probably the weakest link. Just one spare.
I know. And she did it at the Olympics too. She does it at the Olympics. She does it here. And just like, great. I'll fill in Marketa Davidova's role. No problem.
Yeah, why not?
I got it. Super happy for her. Obviously, like you mentioned, she's not like some super bright up and coming talent, who's just super young. She's just right there and filling in. The Polish women, you mentioned in 5th place, that was their best finish since 2018. And I just, hopefully he's listening. Super happy for Tobias. I know that he as a coach, just having in the times we've talked to him, will be able to pinpoint where they could do better. But it's just really nice for them to have that 6th place at the Olympics, the 5th place here. I mean, just to show where
it's not a fluke too, right?
Exactly. Yes. It wasn't one weird day. They did it twice. This is really where they have gotten to. And I think you look back to where they were, around the last Olympics, it really felt like there was they were in a weird spot. And now it feels like this is not a surprise to see them up there. It's fun. It's cool, but it's not a like, whoa, what's Poland doing up there? Like if Lithuania had finished in 5th, you'd be like, what the hell is that? But Poland's there and you're like, yeah, all right. They had a good day. And then the other relay I wanted to mention was the U.S. men who had a chance at the podium. Campbell obviously made a move and really tried to give himself some space on the second lap of the anchor leg. Didn't pay off. Had the penalty loop, and they ultimately finished in 5th. But still, I have a feeling
5th is a bad result.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that we're not going to see this particular group of 4 guys together next season, and I just really want to be thankful for what they were able to do. And not saying that whoever comes in, if there's a turnover, right, that they won't be able to continue to have good results, because I think they can, especially with Germain and Campbell being so young. But it's just been really cool. Like ever since Soldier Hollow was in 2024, I think they've been in the top 10 every relay except for one. And that has just never happened before. And a whole bunch of 4th place finishes, not quite on the podium, but it's like the best run of U.S. men's biathlon relay finishes that they've ever had. And it's been great. I'm enjoying it, and hopefully it can continue. With Campbell and Maxime, they can keep the ball rolling. If Sean Doherty's back, if Paul Schomer's back, then great. Just feels like, especially with Auchenthaler retiring, that this could just be a transition point.
Yeah, because on the one hand, I was thinking, Paul Schomer has had such a long way to come back. So it's hard to imagine that he would then retire. But I mean, at 33. But I mean, he's doing great. So who knows? Maybe he's just a late bloomer, and maybe he gets better, and they'll be
it becomes Jakob Falk
seeing a podium. Yeah.
Didn't
he have fifth in the individual?
In the 7th in the individual, yeah.
Or 7th, yeah.
Him and Hofer, like having those performances in the individual, I was like, all right, of course.
But I find it interesting that he got 7th with clean shooting. But often it's like when a lot of other people have misses. But I mean,
nope.
In the top 7, there was only 2 that weren't clean. So I mean, that
individual race was crazy to have the top 4 be clean, and it was just the way that the way the starting order goes now, where you've got that the top guys right about halfway through, 2/3 of the way through. Mm-hmm. Just really, it builds the intensity. but to watch, I mean, I this was now several days ago, but I just remember watching it, and you'd have was I think Laegreid was first, and he went clean, and then it was Christensen, and then Perrot, and then they would do it again, and again, and again, and it was, and they just kept matching each other every single time. And when Laegreid, when he finally went clean the first time, I was like 20 for 20. I was like, all right, we'll see. Can these guys? That's a lot of pressure. Can these guys match them? And there they were.
Well, even when Hofer crossed the line shooting clean, I mean, in the end, he lost by a minute 20 almost. But it's one of those where could be today,
Yes, 100%. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that was a very, for an individual, which can sometimes be anticlimactic, that was certainly not.
No, it was enjoyable. Sorry, jumping back and forth here, but it was awesome to see Leah Meyer have another good race in the individual.
Super happy for her. He posted something on Instagram about how same venue, last time in the short individual, this time in the individual, and like she improved by I think it was like 17 spots or 17 positions with the same 19 out of 20 shooting. And just talking about how, a year makes a lot of difference.
Yep, absolutely.
And that seventh just doesn't, you see Leah Meyer in seventh, you're like, Leah Meyer in seventh.
I know, doesn't jump out yet at you.
Yep. Same thing.
Same with Christova.
Yeah.
Christova.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In 8th again.
Yep. It's like, I guess that's just where she's going to be now.
A good race too.
Mm-hmm.
Regina Ermit, 17th again. She's had some really good results this season.
That was, she finished in 13th in the mass start, and that was her 8th top 20 of the season. She has now matched her entire career total of top 20s this year. Not bad. That's another one where you see her in the top 20 and you just don't. 13th. Yeah, 13th last year would have been like, whoa, like Regina Ermit's in 13th. Like, that's crazy. And now it's just like, all right, she's in 13th. Of course. There were a couple others in the individual.
For the French, So the French women in the individual, 10th, 22nd, 26th, 32, 35.
Weird, right?
It's no good, but a good.
Yeah, not ideal. Even in the mass start, right? Because Simone won the mass start, but then Michelin was in 6th, and Jeanmonnot was in 16th, and then Justine was in 25th.
I've heard they're really good at waxing in altitude. Maybe that's the thing.
Oh, maybe that's it. Camille was in 18th.
Yeah, maybe it's the whole team that just built up to the Olympics and.
Yeah, and they're just sort of. Well, I mean, Simone didn't look amazing skiing. I mean, her skiing is fine, but you could definitely tell she was a little bit tired. But
on the relay, she definitely didn't look fine skiing.
Right? Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. Is on the relay today, she did not look. She looked tired, and so I think they might just be a little bit overcooked. But she still has the shooting, man. Good Lord. In the mass start, like that was classic Simone, where she.
Oh man,
it's just like I don't have the numbers in front of me, and I'm going to try to pull them up while I'm talking. But she had those 2 standing shoots where she was 19.3 seconds, and Elvira in the same shoot was 27, so she gains 8 seconds there, and then in the final shoot 18.8 seconds. And it was like, we've seen her do it a million times, but to also. But
wasn't that what the miss?
Yeah. Well, and to know that she, at that point, was like, probably knew, like, I don't have the most amazing legs today. Like,
yeah.
This is it. This is how I have to win this race. And she pulled it off. That was pretty cool.
Well, and we all know that even when she doesn't have the legs, if she can see somebody in front of her.
Yes. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be there.
No. That is a special talent. And now she's got, 17 career wins? She's just really stacking them up.
Yeah. I wanted to do a shout out to Team Canada, who, as opposed to the men, the women were able to get a team up there and got in 13th place. Great to see them compete. And on the men's side, I also wanted to mention that we had Great Britain.
Yes.
With Jacques, not Jack, even though he's skiing with the Union Jack, but Jacques Jeffries. And then only one reload, so he did really well. And unfortunately, Webb got. Matthew Chronicle, the third athlete on the team, got lapped, but great to see.
That's awesome to see, and I'm really, really excited about
another Lottelie story, right? Where I don't know how many relays they've done before, but with someone like Jacques choosing to race for Great Britain, they're in the relay. Not quite to challenge for a podium, but being there is a first step, right?
11 years since the last time they did it.
It's funny, the Belgians have Julien Petit-Jacques, Little Jack.
Great. That's a great name.
Yeah.
Scott Dixon was a one-man show. I just wanted to mention him real quick. Scott Dixon was a one-man show on Eurovision Sport this weekend. Mostly, I think that Ellen Ellard was doing the Olympics. Chad Salma was doing the Olympics, or the Paralympics, I should say. And so he filled in, and he called every single junior worlds race. He was this weekend jumping back and forth between junior worlds and the World Cup races. This man must have been like losing his mind. I think he was talking probably to himself for like 6 or 7 hours today and yesterday. It just had to be absolutely exhausting. So Scott Dixon, the fact that you were even speaking coherently at the end of this is a testament to you.
Absolutely.
I also want to mention that his accent, when he says Sonja Linemo, it sounds like, in the Scottish accent, it sounds like he's saying Sonja the animal. No, it says Sonja the animal. So now, like, the first time I heard it, I was like, who? Because it sounded like he said the animal coming off the range. And I was like, who did he just call the animal? And it took me a while to put together who he was talking about. But now I can't say her name without accidentally almost stumbling and saying Sonja the animal. So Scott Dixon, I appreciate you giving me some chuckles today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. It's funny when you can not hear it for many times, and then once you hear it, you cannot unhear it.
No, never. And now I'm stuck with it. It's never going away. We mentioned Simone and we mentioned Lou. I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't mention that Lou won the individual globe. She held on by her fingernails at the end there. But she did take home the individual globe, and Simone, with her win, has a fairly substantial lead in the mass start and will almost assuredly take home the mass start globe in Oslo. On the men's side, Perrot really put the clamps down this weekend. He did win the mass start. He just has to show up in Oslo to collect it, but it will have his name. And then he won the individual as well. And then the relay globes went to the Norwegian men and the French women. So then no globes.
Was that thanks to QFM, or I'm guessing the Norwegians
they were going to win anyway? Yeah. Once,
I felt
as long
bad
as
for Jacquelin, though, hey? Such a good leg, and then.
Well, we got to talk about Jacquelin in just a minute.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in just a minute. But this weekend, the mixed relay globes will be decided, and then finally, of course, in Oslo, all the rest. And we'll do a rundown before. Actually, in 1 week, we'll do a rundown before we fly out of everything that's.
And I'm
that's left to
printing
be decided.
the second edition of the Isolated Pursuit Cup.
I'm so excited to hand those out. I
They're
really
looking a little different this year. Well, I don't have anything yet. I'm at a point now where I'm like, maybe I'll just go back to the design from last year because it's not really working out as I'd hoped.
I'm excited. Whatever you choose to do, I'm excited. I really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling through pictures of last year's event and just seeing Lou and Sturla with those. It was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts from this weekend? Oh, one big one.
Well, for the World Cup, you mean?
Yeah. One big one. Did you want to talk about Jacquelin and everything that happened?
Sure. Yeah.
So just a quick recap of Jacquelin's weekend, because I think you should get the whole story. So in the individual, Jacquelin was in 13th. He had 3 misses, just sort of a solid day.
Interestingly, though, he had 3 misses, but just like 1-1-0-1, because I find often he has like 0-0-3. You know?
He had an excellent leg in the relay, handed over to QFM with a substantial advantage, which
I think it was 35 seconds or something.
Didn't ultimately, I think it was somewhere in that range. That sounds about right. Didn't ultimately, QFM didn't ultimately hang on to it, but clearly he put it all out there. And then it was it the second on the mass start today, on the end of the second lap, he put in a little bit of a surge. And it was just sort of a classic Jacquelin. It almost seemed like, well, spur of the moment kind of dude, but playing the mind games. He put a little surge in to not gain a ton of time, but 3 or 4 or 5 seconds, enough that he definitely had a gap. Hits his shots, goes out there on the third lap, and he's building a lead, and comes back into the range at the end of the third lap. And I think he was a little bit disappointed that his lead wasn't bigger, and that the 2 men who were responsible for cutting down that lead were Fabien Claude and Eric Perrot. And then Jacquelin had a couple misses, and in classic Jacquelin fashion, had a relatively pedestrian, I think he had the 22nd fastest 4th leg before gathering himself and closing himself out in 9th place or something like that. And then after the race, he was definitely upset with the efforts of Fabien Claude and Eric Perrot to try to reel him back in. He felt that they should have let the Norwegians do all the work and not race to pull him back in. And I'm just curious how you feel about all that. And by the way, this is not us trying to make a big thing of it. Fabien Claude brought it up. Simon Fourcade brought it up in the post race interviews. Jacquelin was fairly incensed about it before he calmed himself down. So this was definitely an issue.
Assuming Simon Fourcade and Fabien bring it up in a way like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm assuming.
Well, they were both saying that. I think was it. I can't remember if it was Fourcade. I'm sure it was Fourcade and not Claude who said this. They both brought up cycling, though, that this isn't cycling. You were in this race.
But that's a bit cheap, right?
Yeah. So, but what Fabien Claude said in this, he said, well, in this instance, this isn't a relay. We're not teammates. We all have to race for the podium.
So let me be clear. I'm kind of surprised to hear that from Jacquelin, because that's just that's biathlon. Everybody is kind of racing themselves mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, you could, if the Norwegians were pushing and you're like, don't take the lead, just follow them. Sure. But if the Norwegians are like, we're not going to try to catch them up because they'll shoot and miss 4 times, then I don't know. Like, I don't think that would be a consideration. But no, I find it a bit cheap because he said that he wants to get more into cycling, right? Road cycling.
Yeah.
So to compare it with that, it's like, well, when you're going in like the peloton where, you know, I don't really know what the English terms are, but you have the workers on the team and the superstars, where the workers, you know, either bring them back if there's a fall, or they on the windy sections, they break the wind for them and that kind of thing. I mean, that's not biathlon. So in that sense, sure, but it's a very different sport that way. Like, I don't know how you would, maybe to do the flying in Jacquelin's dream, maybe to do the flying V to pave the way for him.
Yeah. Launch him on the
I don't
attack.
know if it was just, I don't know. I kind of wonder if it has something to do, even though QFM was not part of it. He was kind enough to wait for Jacquelin, even when you know, Jacquelin was ahead of him, but he still decided to hold back just in case Jacquelin needed support. But no, he must have been so frustrated with the relay race. I don't know. Maybe that was something that was said after that race, and he's not somebody who will hold back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's the pepper and salt on the race, right? Like, he spices it up. He makes it fun to watch, and we all know that he can still have that race where it all works out. So.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's the good of Jacquelin, which is so exciting to watch, and then there's the bad of Jacquelin, and every now and then you get a race like this. And in order to get the good, sometimes
but
you gotta
it
have
is
the
getting
bad.
to a point. I do feel that it's starting to get to a point where people are not really taking his charges serious anymore.
Yeah.
Or maybe a couple of years ago, it would have thrown people off for, like, oh shit, what do we do? Do we go with him? Because if he hits him, he's gone. Right? I think now that the odds of that happening are so small, and then he still might burn up too. I've noticed that too a couple of times where he's just dead at the last lap.
I will never forget last year in Oslo, we were standing around the athletes when he made one of his escapes in the mass start, and being around athletes who were multiple, not just like one, but they were just sort of chuckling and making guesses at how long he would stay away. So
what? Where's Jeanmonnot?
Real quick, I will always say he's the most entertaining man in biathlon. Him and Campbell
absolutely.
Wright. And so this is just part of it. This is part of it. With his personality, you're going to get this. He's got to rest, man. Practically a senior citizen. You got to give him a chance to rest up.
Did he end the season early, or is he just?
I honestly didn't hear anything about it.
Well, I don't think he raced at all. Did he?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking back real quick. I don't believe that he did.
No, I don't think so.
He did not. Nope. Hopefully he's back in.
Maybe you need to go back to Austria to make sure he can collect his pension when he comes at the end of the season.
In the United States, we call it Social Security. He's probably eligible by now. Collect his pension.
That's mean.
No, it's not mean.
All respect for the guy. Like,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it's all respect.
Yeah.
Last thing. This is last big thing that was on my mind was I had said a few episodes ago that I wanted to be paying more attention to moments in races where, things happen. So like that Jacquelin, that little surge before the second shoot. In the women's mass start, it felt like the end result, like there was so much of it that came from that first lap, because we talked about Lou, she, with Vogt, crashing into her, and then Lou, knocks her off where she was, and now she's having to play catch up on that first lap. And then later on the first lap, Justine up the wall, she put in an attack on the very first lap, And I think there were only 3 women who were able to stay with her, and 2 of them were Elvira and Simone. And I wonder, well, like with Lou being so much further back, like she didn't even have the opportunity to join the attack. So I wonder, she was sort of chasing the entire time. And I'm just wondering, like, how much of a role did that early separation for Elvira and Simone play ultimately? Obviously, it was such a long race. They still had to hit the shots. They still had all of but to give them any advantage that early in the race just seems like it could only have helped them.
So I think because Justine was in the lead that Lou was holding back because, letting the others do the work kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. You think so?
Typical French tactics. Yeah. No, I think, it doesn't help falling, right? Even though it wasn't a big plant your face in the snow fall, it was still doesn't help your confidence. But yeah, she didn't look very strong. But then the second lap, she looked almost like old Lou again.
Yeah. But I just wonder, like, having to do all of that work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, it was just an odd race.
In a bit of a weird stage right now. But again, like we've always seen with her, I'm looking at Loop 1. We have Breza Boucher 7:06, Hannah plus 5:8, Elvira plus 7:1, Jeanmonnot plus 7:7.
Of course.
Does this woman take shortcuts or something? Like
she must. She just levitates over
and then
corners.
To support my story of how well she was doing in the second lap, she came in 7th, but only 6 seconds behind Fialkova.
I was going to say it must have been. Yeah. My recollection of that, though, is that she was leading that group. Like she was doing all the work to bring that group back up, as close as they were. Yeah. I think she was.
Then third lap plus 12.8 course time.
I think she's just tired. I think there's a lot like mental and physical fatigue.
No. Vitozzi is also not really in the picture anymore, hey? It's kind of
sort of a non-entity this week.
Yeah, but then Augenthaler had a pretty good race. And Trebucci, 19th, Augenthaler 14th. But yeah, then the relay was not so good for Trebucci. But
who I want to mention was Martha Johansson. Not that she was, rock your socks, amazing, but she
solid, eh?
Was just solid, right? Exactly. And this is just sort of something we haven't really seen this level from. I mean, I went back. You can go to Ruhpolding. She was 7th and 8th in Ruhpolding. Didn't race in Nové Mesto. And then 16th, 33rd, 33rd, 13th in Antholz, and then 12th and 7th this week. Just sort of pretty good. Like she's not, like I said, she's not going to knock your socks off, but she's more than good enough. What is she now in the overall? 20th. That seems about right.
It seems like there's not a lot of attention either. Right?
Yeah. No. And she's definitely stabilized a position on that relay team. That you can just count on her. She's not going to be the fastest woman out there, but she's going to hit her shots and she's not going to hurt you.
I was happy to see that Tannervold had a good shooting.
Yes, that was
relay.
Big. Thank you for mentioning that.
Individual, still 5 misses, but only 2 spares in the relay.
Thank you for mentioning that, because that's big.
Unfortunately, had a miss, but she seemed to be very fast.
Was she?
Yeah, 3rd ski time.
Oh, so that was really, and especially on that leg.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to, for the men's relay, I was looking up the course time. There was something funny about that. Why is it not showing, Jacquelin? Oh my God.
While you're doing that, just a few other people with personal best this week.
No, for some reason I thought in the relay, I thought that I just saw that Jacquelin had the fastest ski time, but he didn't. But he had the fastest time overall with 10 seconds ahead of Ponsaloma. But for course time, Ponsaloma was 20 seconds faster.
So how much faster was Jacquelin shooting? It's outrageous.
So
his range time must have
been shot 42.2 in total. And I have to go down a long way for Ponsaloma. Almost 33 seconds. Laegreid, 37.3.
Laegreid was weird though, because I actually remember he had one really slow reload. It was like a 20. It was like a 20-second reload. It was something weird.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so maybe a bullet got stuck or something.
I was going to mention, I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm sure, Judita Trobaite. She's Lithuanian. She finished in 15th, and that was her first ever points. I think her career best before that was 41st. And then Emma Kapostova was in 16th. That was a career best as well. And then on the men's race, in the individual, Dmitry Shamayev finished in, was 14th, and that was a career best. And he had actually just set his career best at the individual in Novo Mesto. So just really likes these individual races right around the Olympics, I guess.
And always happy to mention Konstantina Charalampidou from Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Only one miss.
Nice. Any sorry?
So there's a Daria Dolidovic from BRT.
Oh, she's the Russian refugee.
Oh, okay.
She's I think her family was fairly outspoken against the war, and they left as refugees, and they live in Poland, and so she gets some support from the Polish Federation.
When Adam Runnels, 36 in the individual.
36, but he was running very well for a while there.
Yeah, and I mean he had two misses, one each standing shooting. So,
but even after the first one, I think he was still on his way to a very high finish. But the second one was just a bridge too far.
Any other things you wanted to mention?
Not on the World Cup. I was going to mention the IBU Cup finished up in Lake Placid with 2 weeks. There was a gentleman over on Blue Sky who's going to share some pictures, and I will share those as well. It looks like he had a very good time over there. But at the end of the season, so Paula Botte is our IBU Cup overall champion for the women, and Gaetan Patruel is for the men. So that means France will get those extra bibs to start the year. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, for the last race weekend, which this season is in Oslo, every nation that has somebody in the top 10 gets a bib up to a maximum of 2. So for the women, France will get 2 extras in Oslo, Sweden, Germany, Norway, and Italy. And then for the men, France gets 2, Norway gets 2, and Germany gets 2. Use however they would like, but I imagine that we will see Paula Botte fill one of those in Oslo.
Yeah.
And then the other big thing on the IBU Cup was Antoine Guignard raced his last race. He retired after the last race in Lake Placid.
And he has the most wins in this season on the IBU Cup.
Does he really?
4 wins.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Average race rank 16.3, but
good for him.
Dollar
I'm really happy for him.
Average
that he got
race rank first.
Yeah. No, really happy for him that he got this season on the IBU Cup, because it's not obviously where he would like to be, but kind of neat if he was able to sort of give some mentorship to this young group of French men, because I think they took spots 1 through 4 on the IBU Cup. So if those guys can start trickling upward, maybe
crazy,
they can
hey?
remember.
Dala having raced 3 races on the IBU Cup this season.
Oh, I know. That's just silly. Because he's up to 5th now. He's 5th in the overall.
Yeah, absurd. But c'est la vie.
And then, of course, we had the Junior Worlds, which finished up. And we could spend a whole episode going over some of those results. But I did want to mention that Latvia just blew the doors off the place with Esther Wolfa and Elza Bleidel and Richard Losbers. They just were phenomenal. I mean, they really were. From start to finish, they won, let's see, 7 medals in total, 3 golds, 3 silver, and 1 bronze. That was 1 less than Norway and tied with France for most medals at the Youth and Junior World Championships, which is just really wild
Crazy.
when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And, oh, good.
No, I'm so impressed by that trio.
No, I was going to mention the 4 German junior women who won the gold medal just ahead of France.
Yes.
Yep. And obviously, I had to think of Matthias right away. I don't know exactly if this is the group that he worked with. I thought he worked with both youth and junior. I'm not 100% sure, but if he's listening, Matthias, job. Because even if it's not your group, I'm sure you were involved. And I know he went over to Germany with not to say the end goal, but this was really one of the goals to help the young athletes on the German team to prepare for this. And I can't say that I've seen all the results, but I can't imagine that he's not happy with, winning a relay, because that's always a bit of a sign of depth in your group. So,
well, and I also want to point out that 2 of the women on the junior women's team, there was Melina Gopp and Sydney Westerling, are both 17, so they were racing up a level too. So they could have been racing on the youth relay team. So that's some talent. He's got to be very excited about that.
Yeah.
Arber was a little warm and splashy, but I'm really impressed that they were able to keep keep it going, because I think it was quite warm there every day.
What was I going to say? Are they done, the youth and junior?
Yep, there's just finished up today with the relays.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but is Worlds done, or is the whole season done for them?
The whole season's done. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, if you go back and you can even just glance through the results, but if you go back and watch any of the races, you can see women. I mean, I think especially we've talked a lot about Wolfa and Bleidel, but Alexandra Merkushina, who's a 21-year-old Ukrainian woman, was just phenomenal this weekend. She did really great. There's Berg Knudsen. It's a Norwegian that we'll be seeing probably in the not too distant future. Was doing pretty well. On the men's side, of course, Kasper Kalkenberg had a good time. Jakob Kuhlben, who's been on the on the World Cup a couple times, looked pretty good out there. Won the silver medal in the Mass 60 and had a couple other. I think he was bronze in the individual.
Watch that.
Was that?
I haven't seen that yet. Oh, Mass Start 6. Yeah, I always find that fun to watch.
It's so wild. I mentioned Philip Blinktvist Fluten, who won. He won the individual and then was bronze in the Mass 60. So just rising talent for the Swedes. Inka Heimelainen was down there. Menke Kasterman from Slovenia, looking okay. Yeah, it was enjoyable. I will not pretend like I watched every single race, because I didn't. I mean, on the East Coast, they were starting sometimes at 3 or 4 in the morning.
Well, you were too busy watching Lake Louise.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lake Louise would be a
nobody-
lot of fun, though.
Yeah. Still nobody came up with the idea to maybe walk around with a camera and put some on ESPN 17 or something.
Yeah, we'll send my dad next time.
Yeah. I still don't.
Shouldn't be too hard.
I mean, if they pay me, I'll go.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, I think that's it.
So next week we have Otapa in Estonia, and then Oslo.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Those are good fans.
Well, and take notes because the Worlds are going to be there pretty soon, right?
Next year, yeah.
And then and then Oslo, and it's coming up fast.
Man, I can't believe it. How fast
I'm
that's
excited,
coming up.
and then I can't believe it's going to be over after that.
I know that. Yeah, two more weekends. Ooh. But all right, man. Oh yeah, now I need to, of course, say goodbye in Finnish. And as I'm so well prepared, I'm going to have to look it up. So you just talk away, and then
Yeah, so I like to. So I do these preview posts for every World Cup. I post it on the social media, and I put it up on the website penaltyloop.com. And I like to have the course maps because I find them really cool to see because you hopefully see the profile and also just see where they go. I just find them it helps out a lot for me. And these, because Otapa, I just don't remember the course at all. It's a lot more lumpy bumpy than I remember. And really early on, like 250 meters into every lap, doesn't matter because they all start the same. There's you hit the biggest climb on the course. So you have this steep climb, not quite, the wall, but So every single lap you'll hit it right away. And then most of the courses will they stay at a pretty high level and they come back down, at the end. So you go little rest for the legs, I think, on the way back down, except for the men's sprint. So I think it was the men's sprint. Yeah. So the 3.3 kilometer course. They have they stay up and they come way back down in the middle. They come all the way back down to the baseline elevation and they climb up again and they go back down. I'm just curious to see
sounds like
how
fun.
that plays out, how that looks on.
Do you know what elevation?
We're not talking too high. No, it is. It looks like 190 meters is 185 is the max.
Yeah, and Oslo is not very high either.
No. So yeah, they get to come down after being in Antholz. They get to come down to sea level and stay there.
Yeah.
Also, interesting enough, there's a ski jump. So we get 2 straight courses with ski jumps in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say Näkkimin. I have no idea if it's anywhere near correct, but that's the best I can do right now.
And I will say good night.
Good night. Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.